Choosing the wrong debt payoff strategy could cost you an extra $4,000 in interest and add 2 full years to your repayment timeline. That is not a small mistake. That is a vacation you never took, a down payment you never saved, and 2 years of financial stress that did not have to happen. Welcome back to Money Straight Talk. I am glad you are here because today we are settling one of the most debated questions in personal finance. Avalanche or snowball? Which debt payoff method actually wins in 2026? We are going to break both strategies down completely, look at the real numbers, and help you figure out which one fits your actual life. Not a textbook, your life. Let us start with the basics because a lot of people think they know these methods, but they are missing important details. The debt avalanche method means you list all your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. You pay the minimums on everything. Then you throw every extra dollar at the highest rate debt first. Once that is gone, you attack the next highest, and so on. The debt snowball method works differently. You list debts from smallest balance to largest, regardless of interest rate. You pay minimums on everything, then attack the smallest balance first. Knock it out, then roll that payment into the next smallest. The core difference sounds simple, but the financial and psychological implications are enormous. And in 2026, with average credit card interest rates sitting around 21%, the stakes have never been higher. Now let us talk pure math because the numbers tell a clear story. Imagine you have 3 debts. A credit card with a $4,000 balance at 22% interest, a personal loan with $8,000 at 14%, and a car loan with $12,000 at 6%. Total debt, $24,000. If you have $300 extra each month to put toward debt, the avalanche method gets you out of debt in approximately 58 months and costs you around $6,200 in total interest. The snowball method on those same debts takes about 62 months and costs closer to $8,000 in interest. That is a difference of nearly $2,000 in 4 months. Now scale that up to a more common debt load, say $40,000 across 5 accounts, and that gap grows to the $4,000 figure we mentioned at the top. Pure math favors the avalanche. Full stop. If you run the numbers, it wins almost every single time. But here is where it gets complicated. And this is the part most finance videos skip over because it makes the answer messier. The snowball method has a documented psychological edge that is genuinely significant. Research from Northwestern University found that focusing on eliminating individual accounts rather than reducing total balances increases the likelihood of people sticking to their debt payoff plan. And here is the brutal truth about personal finance. The best strategy is the one you actually follow. A lot of people start the avalanche method, make payments for 6 months, see their high interest credit card balance barely move because interest keeps eating into their progress, feel like nothing is working, and quietly quit. They go back to minimum payments. They rack up more debt. The $4,000 they would have saved on interest becomes completely irrelevant because they abandon the plan entirely. The snowball gives you a win in 30, 60, 90 days. You close an account. You feel momentum. That momentum is not just emotional fluff. It is a behavioral mechanism that keeps you in the game. So how do you decide which one is right for you in 2026? Here is the honest framework. Ask yourself 2 questions. First, do your high interest debts also happen to have high balances? If your highest rate debt is also your largest balance, the avalanche method can feel demotivating for a long stretch before you see a single account close. That is a real risk. If your highest rate debt is relatively small, say under $3,000, you can knock it out quickly and still get the math advantage plus a fast win. In that case, the avalanche is a no-brainer. Second question, how is your track record with financial commitments? Be honest. Have you started debt payoff plans before and abandoned them? Do you need visible progress to stay motivated? If the answer is yes, the snowball might actually save you more money in the long run. Not because it is mathematically cheaper, but because finishing the race beats dropping out at mile 15. The wrong method that you complete beats the right method that you quit. Now here is a strategy almost nobody talks about, the hybrid approach. And in 2026, with high rates across credit cards, buy now pay later accounts, and personal loans, this might be the smartest play for most people. Here is how it works. Look at your debt list. If any of your smaller balances carry high interest rates, say anything above 18%, prioritize those first. You get the psychological win of the snowball because you eliminate accounts fast. And you get a version of the avalanche benefit because you are removing high rate debt. After those are gone, shift to pure avalanche ordering for whatever remains. A lot of financial planners are recommending this hybrid in the current rate environment because so many people have accumulated short-term high-rate debt from credit cards and digital lending apps. The average American household now carries around $6,300 in credit card debt according to recent Federal Reserve data. Much of that is at rates between 20 and 28%. Taking those out first, even if the balance is small, is mathematically and psychologically smart at the same time. One more thing before we wrap, and it is something people underestimate. Automation is the multiplier for both strategies. It does not matter which method you choose if you are manually deciding each month how much to put toward debt. Life gets in the way. You have a bad week. You skip a payment. Automate your minimum payments on all accounts. Automate your extra payment toward whatever your target debt is. Make the decision once and let it run. Studies on automatic savings and debt payoff consistently show that automation increases follow-through by 30 to 40% compared to manual payment habits. Set it up on the first of the month. Tie it to your paycheck date if you can. Remove the friction completely. The strategy does not win the game. The consistency wins the game. So let us bring this home. The avalanche wins on math. The snowball wins on psychology. The hybrid wins on practicality for most people facing a mix of high rate and low rate balances. And automation turns whichever method you choose into something you can actually sustain. In 2026, with rates still elevated and household debt at record levels, getting this decision right is not optional. This is the foundation everything else in your financial life is built on. You cannot invest aggressively while high interest debt is draining you at 22% annually. You cannot build a real emergency fund if debt payments are consuming 30% of your take-home pay. Get the debt gone. Get it gone strategically. If this breakdown gave you clarity, share it with someone right now who is stuck in the debt loop and does not know which way to go. They need to hear this. And follow us so you never miss a breakdown like this one. We publish this kind of no-nonsense, numbers-first content regularly, and the community that shows up for it is the kind of people who actually change their financial situation, not just talk about it. Before you go, if you are ready to take real action on your debt today, check out Tally. It is a debt management app that automates your credit card payments and helps you pay down balances in the most efficient order based on your actual rates and balances. It essentially does the strategy work for you in real time. The link is in the description, and it is worth 5 minutes of your time right now. Next time, we are talking about why your emergency fund is probably the wrong size, and I do not mean too small. Some of you are holding way too much cash, and it is quietly costing you. We will get into the exact number you should be holding based on your income stability and risk profile. That one is going to challenge some assumptions. Do not miss it.